look at the entire franchise up into this one, the stunts and effects were fairly basic, very simple. This is a whole new thing. This is on a completely different level. And yes, it's much more like an action film, and it's nonstop.
Coming up with the choreography, well, at the beginning, it's always like take as much input from the directors as possible, and then we took maybe 2 weeks to make up like the original stunt choreography, and then run it through the directors, and then like make some changes, and you sit on it for 2 days, and then you're like, yeah, maybe not, let's change this.
And that's your cut rehearsal.
Max is a friend of mine. We met on Immortals, and we've been working together ever since. And Max, he's a stunt performer, but he also does a lot of acting with stunts involved somewhere, but he often gets roles without stunts at all. So Ghostface, even though he doesn't talk or anything, I mean, there's still a performance there, like behind the mask, other than just being like action. So Max has that sensibility to bring that to the table.
Run.
Our stunt performer, Max, who put on the mask in the road.
Oh, fuck.
There was like a physicality to the way that he acted in that costume.
I mean, his build.
Yeah, and I think we knew the second that we were in our the first sequences with him, he was, if the object was get those characters, put them in danger, he was fully committed to that, and it was really exciting and scary to watch on the monitors.
After 1 or 2 scenes, we were like, we should be leaning into this more, and really let Max embody Ghostface. It's not an interchangeable thing where it can be anybody under the robe.
All of us, I know Matt and Tyler are huge horror fans. I personally, huge horror fan. Every time we shoot a scene, I go, can I have more blood?
And it was the first big Ghostface attack that we were shooting. Jasmine, Devin, and I in that room screaming at the top of our lungs, we all lost our voices.
I want to say it took us 2 weeks to do that whole apartment attack and then into the ladder scene. I was hurting for the next week. What's happening? I had bruises from here all the way down to my ankle, both legs.
You should see her knees. I'm so proud of you.
But also I just didn't want to be done because I was having so much fun. I love it here.
The ladder sequence. What you see in the movie is what was written on the page in the first draft. Then when we got into production, we went through a whole which you do always, you go through painstaking exercise of making sure everything is the right thing. And in that process, we ended up changing it from the ladder to a whole other thing.
Out of fear that we wouldn't be able to make.
So we wouldn't be able to produce the ladder, production, etc. And then we hit a point, very close to production, 2 weeks out probably, where we were hold on, what are we doing? The first draft was great. Why don't we just go back to that? And we called Guy and Jamie, and we're like, how do you guys feel about this? They were like, we love it. We love the ladder. We all looked at each other, we're like, well, we love the ladder.
Right. Let's figure it out. Yeah.
Let's stop chasing our tails and let's go shoot the fucking ladder. And, once we did that whole thing and got there, we were like, right, this is dope for a reason. Yeah. And the simplicity of they are here, they have to get here. It's only, 10, 15 feet, but it's 4 or 5 stories up.
But that was the first time when I read the ladder sequence in the script. I put the script down and I called my mom. I said, you wouldn't believe the things that they're doing over here. They're madmen.
Matt and Tyler work where they always prefer to be on a practical location. In designing the production plan, I always start with, let's see what we can do practically. Is there a practical location that can work, right? In this particular one, because of the stunts that were involved, you can't actually have actors walk across a ladder 5 stories up. So I knew that we were going to have to build some of it, but we didn't want to build from scratch. We didn't want to just build a set. So we found locations. We actually found one location, which was back where the ladder is.
So we scouted, I don't know how many shafts, and this one was nice because it was open on the street. It was allowing us to do train work without being in an enclosed area. So technically it was the best option we found, and the owner was super cooperative with us.
And we filmed all of the exteriors with stunt people, actually up, 5 stories up.
On location, we put the ladder in between, and we had the doubles go over, secured of course on a wire. And Annika, we brought her, we had her fall all the way, stopped her maybe 10 feet off the ground.
I love doing my own stunts. And I was like, no, put me on the harness. They said absolutely not. If something goes wrong, what are you gonna do?
Basically, all the actors, they're all in their 20s mostly, so they're all top shape and willing, and sometimes you have to bring them down a little bit because they're too. It's like, oh, hold on.
I'm like, okay, fair. So I got a stunt double for that. She's cool. She did a great job, but I was really jealous.
And then we recreated the back of that building on a stage, and that's where we had our actors go across, so we could do that in a safe way. And they matched perfectly.
And the brick was really specific. It's got a little hairline in it, and it's like a texture that we had to mold, take a cast of the actual brick, like a mold, plaster and replicate it in plaster to match our sets to the exterior. So it was like an exact replica of the location.
The apartment was on set to allow us to have the actresses go without doubles on the ladder from one window to the other. So it was maybe like 10 feet high, and we put a platform with big mats.
Because when we shot it in the studio, I did it myself, but I was only falling from it was like 4 feet, not 4 stories.
Actual actress Annika was doing her own thing of falling.
I think if Matt and Tyler could have their way, they would never see a green screen. It's true, we haven't used any of those. There's no visual effects in the ladder sequence other than, removing the safety wires that we obviously had to have for the stunt people and the actors to make sure they were safe. But that's it. So when I say I develop a production plan which reflects the director's sensibilities, that's what I mean. This is their preferences. This is how they make their movies. They love it. Even when we build sets, our sets look and feel as if they're practical locations. Sure. We typically don't use wild walls, and when you open up a door, there's another room behind that door. That's how we build our sets. And yeah, they're a little bit more than maybe another director might use, but we don't have any visual effects. So it all pays off, and it's all real.